Okay, so now we're going to do the inside thigh. A really good landmark for in here is this. You see this vein and artery right next to each other. This is called the femoral artery and vein. It's a pretty big part of your vascular system. All right, but next to that, inside the fascia next to it, you're going to see the borders of two really thin sheet-like muscles right here and here. You can clearly see the borders on this cat. If you can't see the borders, then it's probably too much fascia. You just need to clean it up a little bit. But you see a border here, and you see the border here. Okay, border and border. So I'm going to very gently and to cut this very shallow too, because there are muscles underneath here that we're going to need to see, and we don't want to cut into them. So nice shallow cuts down the border, there, and now here. Good. And then once you do that, then you can kind of lift it off. Oops, you guys didn't see that.
Sorry.
And I'm just going to lift it off the muscles underneath. And try to find the other border, which we already found the other border to this one. So good to go there. And then this one that I ripped, we'll find the other border. See my glove? Find the other border. All right, let's talk about names to these. The one that is more anterior, the one in front, all right, is called your sartorius. Sartorius, very good. While the one in the back, that is also sheet-like, is called your gracilis. So gracilis sartorius. All right, so we're gonna have to reflect these to get to deeper muscles. So I want you to reflect by the knee again, just like we did with the bicep femoris. So I'm gonna go ahead and reflect these now. And very sorry for ripping into your gracilis there. Now you're probably going to want to do both sides. One side where you keep the sartorius and gracilis intact, the other side you go deeper and reflect. All right, once you get in here, you're going to notice there's a lot of connective tissue that we're going to have to clean up a little bit. So I'm going to try to do this quickly so I'm not wasting everybody's time. You want to be gentle, especially in this area. These muscles are very sensitive. All right, so one of the things that you will have to know for the test is not just the name of the muscles, but the group of muscles they make up as well. So I'm going to give you an example here. There is a group of muscles just below the femoral artery and vein that make up a triangle. Now this triangle is touching the femur, and you may have a guess what this triangle might be called. I don't think it's on your list, but you still need to know it. Called your femoral triangle. That wasn't a trick question. All right, so your femoral triangle is made up of 3 muscles. So this is not part of the femoral triangle. I'm separating it out. It is these 3 muscles here. Now this is going to get tricky on separating these muscles because these muscles have multiple heads to them, which makes it look like they're multiple muscles when it's just one. And some of these muscles are really thin where you can't see them. But let me show you them real quick. We're gonna have a bigger, kind of lighter in color muscle here. Okay, has multiple heads. This is not a border. These are multiple heads. Then in front of that, we're gonna have a darker, thinner muscle right here, a little bit more vascularized. And then in front of that, we're gonna have a deeper, darker muscle. That's you might have to get a lot of fascia out of the way to see. There it is, right there. Okay. All right, I'm gonna start with this little tiny one that's just south of the femoral artery and vein. This is called your pectineus. We've talked about this muscle before. What is it attached to? What part of the femur? Yeah, what structure? Yeah, the pectineal line. Very good. That's why we have a pectineal line, so this little thing can attach to it. That's your pectineus right there. Okay, so that's part of the femoral triangle. Then next to that, we have this other darker one that's a little longer. These two have similar word in the name. These are both called adductors. But this darker, longer one is called the adductor longus, while this lighter one that touches more of the femur is called the adductor femoris. Now, what do you think these muscles are doing for you? Adducting. Right. they're closing the hip, bringing the hip back to the midline. Okay, think about these contracting and pulling the hip this way. All right, is everybody get there? All right, I am kind of regretting picking marble cake here because there's so much fascia. But we will make it work. I never shy away from a challenge.
Has her name on it? It is rose.
I really need to. No, it's just my head.
Okay, so this is the femoral triangle. Let's go to the muscles that are just beyond the femoral triangle. Does anybody know actually what these muscles back here, the whole group of muscles is called, that let you flex your knee? You said hamstrings, very good. I'm sure everybody's pulled a hammy before, right? Well, your hammies are made up of 3 muscles. You never pulled a hamstring before? Wow, okay. You were lucky. Okay, so let me separate them out. We have this big one right here. Then we have this border right here that I want to separate. So let's talk about the names of these two first. They both are going to have semi in the name. Now one is wider and the other one is thinner. What do you think the wider one is going to be called? Very good. Semimembranosus, like a membrane. It's a wide sheet. This is the wider of the two. While this thinner one is going to be the semitendinosus. And if you look behind it, if you look at it behind it, it takes up the back part of the leg there. Okay? So that's, how many hamstrings do we have?
3.
We have 3, and I only named 2. Does anybody know what the third hamstring is? I'll give you a hint. We already covered it. Maybe have a guess.
Did we cover it recently?
Yes. Not necessarily right now, though. But we did cover it today. What's the last hamstring muscle?
I think you said we didn't cover it.
No, we did cover it today.
Never mind. I take it back.
What does it start with?
Your bicep femoris is the last hamstring. Okay, so all of these muscles are working together to flex your knee. Okay, good there? All right. All right, let's go to this side of femoral artery and vein now. There's going to be a group of muscles that looks like a hot dog in a bun. I like food. You're going to hear a lot of food analogies. So let's just get used to it. You see a hot dog in a bun there. Oops, so sorry. Okay. Does anybody know what these muscles as a group are called? Quads, your quadriceps. Very good. Okay, so let me talk about your quadricep muscles. There's 4 of them. So I'm going to start with the hot dog first. Let me get the buns off real quick. So the buns are folding over the hot dog just like real hot dog buns would. Oops. There we go. Okay. So the hot dog itself gets its name because it goes straight down the femur.
Straight down the femur.
Straight down the femur. Look at your list. Anything it might mean straight down the femur.
Straight down.
Yep.
Is it one of these vastus things?
Nope.
Okay. No. All right.